Hi and welcome to a new video. This is Mo from FC Mastery Path. I'm glad to be your presenter. In this video, we're going to be discussing one of the applications that I've been thinking of building for the last couple of years since we have got good open source large language models. You would see in the two videos here a cost intel product suite based on a number of them web applications that I've built where I'm trying to make or develop applications in one place. There are a wide variety of them applications that I have crafted and you can watch them in the videos, including actual cost assurance, predictive cost analytics, inflation and deflation analysis, in addition to resources unit rates and claims management. And in this specific video, we're going to be discussing a decent application that I've built, which is related to automatic codification of bills of quantities using desired methods of measurement. This video is going to be split into a number of sections. The first section is why I have thought about creating this application. The second section is going to be the tech stack, and the third section is going to be the walkthrough. And we're going to be ending the video on a light note with some thoughts. So without further ado, let's dive in. So being a quantity surveyor myself, I've always dealt with bills of quantities and I've worked in consultancies over the last 8 years of my life. So normally we receive bills of quantities from contractors, whether during the tendering stage or in the post-contract stage. Bills of quantities are always composed of heaps of sheets and then they are summarized, and lots of usage of sum if and count if is undertaken. We have to change the way of crafting bills of quantities from lots of sheets in Excel to one homogeneous database. So having that homogeneous database, we now need to do some sort of splitting the works, not just by the work package, but also by a method of measurement. Because unfortunately, contractors, they use their own methodology of thinking and work package naming and the likes. So the process of mapping thousands of rows of data per bill of quantity in accordance with a method of measurement, that takes a substantial amount of time. And it requires a senior quantity surveyor or above to do this job properly, efficiently, and accurately. So I thought about a new approach. Why don't we use the open source large language models, give them access to a standardized method of measurement. This method of measurement is going to be built into the database, and also the BoQ is going to be built into the database. And then the large language model is going to be doing the job based on understanding the method of measurement and then deploying it into the already crafted database of a bill of quantity. This approach can save a substantial amount of time, and this allows the quantity surveyors to reallocate their time into something different. Instead of doing the actual job themselves, they can have lots of AI agents who are doing the majority of the work, and then the senior quantity surveyor is going to be overlooking what the AI agents are doing and then undertaking corrective measures whenever necessary. This can save a substantial amount of time, and it means that more time can be dedicated towards quality assurance. So, as we have alluded to in the previous section, we receive scattered Excel sheets of bills of quantities, and normally a quantity surveyor would need to be mapping thousands of rows of data in accordance with a standardized method of measurement. The front end is mainly reliant on React plus bytes, and it is an interactive user interface with sort of drag and drop with the bills of quantities and the methods of measurement. The back end is reliant on Python fast API, where there's a substantial amount of array calculation under the pandas data frames, in addition to a graph retrieval augmented generative technique. I'm trying to build a neural network of the standardized method of measurement so that the LLM can look up the nearest codification based on the item description. And also in the back end, REST API is utilized. The graph retrieval augmented generative system itself, it builds the graph out of the standardized method of measurement, taking into account the different levels. And as we have alluded to, the LLM is trying to do its best to codify each and every single item in the bill of quantity in accordance with the nearest code within the method of measurement of choice. And there's a layer of correction that is done at the very end where the code that the LLM comes up with is looked up in the original database of the method of measurement so that we can do our best to reduce hallucinations of large language models. In the next section, we're going to be walking through the application itself, but I wanted to have a human in the loop where the end user, who could be cost managers, estimators, estimators and quantity surveyors, they could have a look at each and every single line item in the bill of quantity and the codification that was provided by the LLM. The LLM, it's not going to be 100% perfect. There might be some edits required, and that has been instilled in the application, and I'll show you this in the next section of the video. So this solution can be deployed locally if a company or an end user, they do possess a substantial amount of computing power, and it could also be deployed in the cloud itself. So we could make the best use of Docker to have fast API under Python in a container, and then there could be a queuing system through Celery and Redis. The end user can upload 50,000 lines or more, and then the server processes everything in the background, and then there's an email that could be sent over to the end user when the codification is complete. Because at the end of the day, let's face it, each and every single bill of quantity could contain anywhere between 10 to 20,000 rows of data if converted to a database. And then there could be a local LLM cluster. The graph rack system could be connected to the latest and greatest mixture of experts open source LLMs, which could require hundreds of gigabytes of video memory. This can enable the company or the end user to get high quality answers, and it's going to be relatively free of charge because the initial investment is going to be done into having a proper computational power. This could also be taken to the cloud through a containerized Amazon Web Services Kubernetes cluster, and there could be a vector database like Pinecone or Melvis to store the embeddings from the measurement rules, and also have a semantic search. The storage could be done through Amazon Web Services, and there could be further complexity by adding user login and user authentication. But I'm not going to be dealing with cloud deployment, I'm just going to be dealing with local deployment, and I'm going to show you a walkthrough the actual application itself within the next section of this video. So upon running the Cost Intel product suite, you would find 6 web applications. I have already discussed 5 of them in 2 previous videos, which you can check on my channel. The one which you're going to be tackling in this video is the Bill of Quantity Code Intelligence. The application itself is composed mainly of 2 main things, or actually 3. The first thing is upload of a method of measurement of choice, and then the second thing is uploading the Bill of Quantity itself, and the third thing is going to be the choice of the LLM and then viewing the results. So in the tab which is standards, we can upload the method of measurement. I'll choose NRM1, and I'll show you how the files are mapped. So NRM1 is new rules of measurement. It is free to download from the RSCS website, and it's a huge book, 300 plus pages. So I've gone through the 300 plus pages and I've crafted a database out of the elemental breakdown within the NRM1. And as you can see on the screen, that's NRM1. I have put it in a proper database with the different levels of it. The bit of quantity that I'm going to be using in this video is a short one, which is composed of item description, unit of measurement, rate, total, quantity, and the likes. It can have any number of columns, it doesn't really matter. It's just going to be using the activity description or the item description column. That's going to be the main focus. And now back to the application. Once we have chosen the method of measurement of choice, for example, in RM1, and this is going to be the format itself, we are going to be processing the bit of quantity. I'm going to be choosing the bit of quantity, which is the file that I've just shown you, which is the super short one. It is composed of about 53 items. These are dummy, just did them through using different AI models, but the same concept can be applied under any bit of quantity. And then I'm going to be uploading it, and then it's going to ask me which method of measurement should be used. I've just uploaded NRM1, and then for the AI providers, I have embedded substantial amount of AI providers within this application. You can use Claude, or you can use OpenAI models, Google Gemini, LM Studio, and the likes. You can put in the API key through the settings page. You can have here your API key of Claude or GPT models from OpenAI, Gemini, and the likes. I've also embedded Llama and LM Studio, and there's a reason for this, because I would like to have this application deployed locally on companies without heavily reliant on API keys and having extensive costs. I have already downloaded LM Studio and I have deployed the server. As you can see here, you can download LM Studio and then go to the developer and then make sure that the service is running for the server. And I do have a number of the models. As you can see here, I have potentially 6 models. I'm going to be using mainly Gemma 12 billion parameter model for this exercise because I've managed to achieve about 80% accuracy with it. It's a small model, 8 gigabytes, and it's 4-bit quantization. So it's fairly small. It can run on even an RTX 4060 or 3060 or 5060. So So LM Studio, I'm going to be choosing the geometry, and then I'm going to be starting the processing. It's going to take quite close to 6 to 7 minutes. When I click on that, it's going to take a bit of time, and it's going to open that process page or process step. It's going to take a bit of time to load the model into memory, and then the actual magic is going to happen. So going back to LM Studio, I can go to the developer, and then you will see now that the model is being loaded and that there are some action that is happening here, and the codification is being done in the background. When you go back to the application, you will see how many items are there in the file, and then how much of them is being processed. I did that task a couple of days ago, and it took about 6 to 7 minutes. So as you can see on the screen, the LLM or the actual application, it finished the codification. Let's see the end results. Basically this page, which is the results page, it has the actual items and then the codification, in addition to a degree of confidence. The end user can view the details of the codification of these different levels, and then the end user can edit if need be. For example, let's take one such as the external items. Sometimes you would need up to level 4, not level 3. That's according to your needs. So in here, for example, let's click on edit, and it's 5, which is services, and 5.8, which is electrical installations. That is 100% correct. Lighting, which is 100% correct. And then you might need lighting and installations, for example, and then I can save the changes, and so on and so forth. So I have done this multiple times before, and I think the only one that it really struggles with is the communication systems. That item, it struggled with it, but because the description itself was not great. So in here, for example, an item like this, or these items which are in red, you could go inside of it and then choose whichever works. This one is 100% incorrect. I think it should be 5.12.1 communication systems, and then something else in here, for example, telecommunication systems, and so on and so forth. So when you calculate the accuracy, you have potentially 10 lines that were not 100% correct. Not every line in red is incorrect, because, for example, if you have reinforced in situ concrete, it doesn't really have the context of it, so it's trying to guess as much as possible. It guessed here that it's superstructure, and then it is external walls, which is correct from an NRM perspective. It might be correct from an item perspective or a work package perspective, and it might be incorrect. That's why it's really useful to have a richer item description. Once the end user is happy with what's happening here, they can export either in Excel format or CSV format. I can export now and then save it in whichever place. And then upon opening the actual file, see the item description, the units of measurement, the quantity, the rate, the total, and that is the original file. And then you'll find here the codification. Level 1 services, the confidence of level 1, and then level 2 with its confidence, level 3, and then level 4 whenever relevant. Definitely it's not doing a great job at level 4. Some of the items are already missing here, but it might be because of the context of the item description itself, or because that the item is not really rich in terms of description. That is basically it. You have now a complete system where you upload a decent quality bill of quantity, which is at least in the database format. And I have made a video on my channel some time ago about how you can convert a hierarchy into a database. I'm going to be putting the link of that video in the description. I think that's basically it for this whole application. You have the app itself, you upload the standards, method of measurement, you upload your bill of quantity, and then you choose your model of choice, whether local or online model, and then you have your results, and then you can export them. Okay, so what's next, or how this is useful to us? As we have alluded to in the second section of this video, that this can save a substantial amount of money in doing the actual codification and allocating more time to the quality assurance rather than doing the actual job. And when you look at this from a tech stack and from a global perspective as a holistic approach, you can apply the same methodology of thinking in contract management. You can create a database, an intertwining database of contractual clauses from the FIDIC, from the JCT, from the NEC, and then you can use this as a graph RAG system with your large language model of choice. And then you can have an AI driven claims processor according to your needs. And you can feed in your prompt of choice that can help the LLM as well, in addition to the graph RAG system. And that's basically it for this video. I hope that you have found it useful and insightful. If you think this can be deployed within your organization, do not hesitate to give me a shout. And I'm more than happy to help with the tech stack or the actual deployment. I'm not really happy to share the code right now for this application, and I'm more than happy to work hand in hand with collaborators or sponsors. That is all for this video. Thanks a lot for watching, and catch you in the next one.